Hey Bluebirds, it's your favorite bird, Miss Blue, and I am back for Storytime Part 2 of God Will Never Give You More Than You Can Bear, and everything happens for a reason, but you still have to smile. Long story, long title. I'm gonna have to figure out how to shorten it. But we're back for Part 2. We're back for Part 2. So, where I left off, I'm just gonna get right into it. So, where I left off was my mom had passed. My family, I believe, genuinely forgot that I was still a kid, just an older one. She passed, I was 20. But I'm still young. But even beforehand, they put me in the category of an adult, even when I was an adult at like 17, 18. So I'm making mistakes, not doing this, that, and the third. I genuinely feel like they forgot that I wasn't a kid. I mean, sorry, not an adult. I was a kid. To no fault of their own. I don't hate them for it. I don't have any grudges about it. But it's a conversation I've never actually had with them. And I feel like I need to at 31. I do. Because it did have an effect on me. And it had a long lasting effect on me that I had to rework out of. So by this point, it is 2015. It is 2015. I'm still up in the West Coast with my family. I have my first job. I'm, you know, trying to figure things out without my mom in the picture. You're never going to be the same after you lose a parent. You never are. So it's a completely different. It's learning how to it's learning how to maneuver without them being here. It's a totally different feeling versus just, oh, the regular schmegler. So by this point, I have my job. And again, my family, for some reason, is treating me like I'm just not responsible. Like I'm just not capable of doing certain things. They treated me, and I don't know if they did it intentionally or not, but they treated me like I wasn't aware of the world. And what I mean by that is when we had moved into our own apartment, because we did move into our own apartment, me, my brother, and my mom, when we were out there for a short stint. This is in the time frame of when she passed. We did move into our own apartment finally. And when she was going back and forth in the hospital, the family didn't come up to check on us. They didn't come up to see how we were doing. Again, it always felt like a demand. You must do this, you must do that. So the whole time we're out there, again, a new area, have no idea of the area, literally having to find our way around stuff. My mom is in the hospital. I was the one setting up the bills, making sure that rent was always paid, making sure that groceries was always put in the house, making sure that my brother went to school, this, that, and the third. I was basically playing my mother. Again, and I'm a teenager. I was basically playing my mother, and I feel like they forgot that I was not an adult. I was a child still. So this is a lot for me. I'm having to understand how to do bills, understand. I'm literally making it up as I go along, and nobody bothered to help me. And God forbid if I messed up, I got chewed up one way in the third. Literally. So I'm literally figuring it out as I go. Trial and error. I kid you not. So nobody bothers to come up. Nobody bothers to come and check on us. It was just like you dropped us off and just forgot us. That's literally how it felt. That's literally how it felt. So when she passed, I got thrown back into adulthood again, almost. And it was just like, I didn't get a chance to properly grieve her. I literally watched my mother, and I told you guys in the Vlogmas video, day 15, that you guys, if you guys watch that story time, you know. I literally watched my mother take her last breath. That is a visual that is forever etched in my memory. And take that is a different type of mental that is a different type of mental screw up, in a sense. That's a different type of mental screw up, to watch somebody take their last breath, let alone the person that gave you life. So my brain is just all over the place because I keep replaying that last visual in my head of my mother taking her last breath and then watching the casket go down into the... My brain is all over the place. I was not okay mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I was not okay. At the present point in time, I didn't want to hear anything about everything will work out, everything happens for a reason. I was angry. I was angry. I was hurt. I was confused. I was sad. I was just distraught. I was all over the place. I didn't want to hear anything about brighter days are coming again, and I didn't want to hear jack diddly squat of any of that in that time frame. And nobody seemed to understand it, because every time I would try to explain, this is how I genuinely feel, it was like it went in one ear or out the other, or they took it as, you just want to be lazy, you just want to do this, that, and the third. And I'm like, y'all really are not hearing me. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. You guys have been putting this on me for years, to be an adult when I wasn't an adult, and when I didn't do the things that adults would do, I got berated. I don't know. I'm literally having to unlearn everything that was taught to me, to have to relearn it without my mother being here. That is a lot in a short amount of time frame. And you want me to walk around acting like something I am not. Y'all really ain't getting what I'm saying to y'all. Like, I didn't have nobody to express that to. I didn't. So I kept everything internally. I never expressed it to nobody. I made a few friends. Let me rephrase that, not friends. I made a few cordials at my job that I could talk to here and there. And they would ask me to go out, hang out with them. And my family, for lack of better phrase, is very old school. We have to meet Tom, Dick, Harry, Sally, Susie, which at the time I didn't understand, but with everything going on in the world, I totally understand it now. So, but at the time I was just like, what in the world are y'all doing? I remember one day I just got too overwhelmed. And I thought I could tell my grandma this information, and I couldn't. And that broke my heart as well. I remember expressing that I was overwhelmed, right? I had sent it in a text because I didn't feel comfortable saying it out loud. But I had expressed to her I felt that all I did was work and church and home. I'm introverted, but I'm a people person to a degree. So I like to interact with people. And it felt like I wasn't allowed to hang out with anybody outside of family. And I love my family. Don't get me wrong. I love my family. But I needed to talk to other people outside of them, Because there's things you could tell your friends that sometimes you're not comfortable telling your family at the present moment. Y'all get it. So it was one of those. Like, I don't hate y'all, but I would like to talk to other people outside of y'all, people who've been through these things. I need an outlet because I don't have a healthy outlet. All I do is work in church and home. I need another outlet outside of you guys. That's not disrespectful. That's not mean or anything. That's literally that's how I felt. I need another outlet because my brain is going all over the place and it's not healthy for me. I need another outlet because I feel my mental starting to go. And in a minute, I'm about to be tied up in a room with padded walls. That's literally, I felt it. So I told her, and she told the whole family. Mind you, this conversation was very in-depth and personal. So it was only meant for me and her because I was telling just her. And the next thing you know, my aunts and everybody comes over. And when I say the blood that boiled in my bones, and I'm like, this was a conversation that was only meant for you. I was expressing to you. That wasn't a call that wasn't an altar call. Look, like, no. That was something I was expressing to you because I felt that you would understand because you are the elder in the family. So you've been in this space at one point in time in your life. So I felt that I could be comfortable enough to come to you and express that to you. And obviously not. And then they twisted it to make it seem like I was saying I didn't want to be in the church. And I'm like, how in the world did you get from there to there? And do you know on top of that they told the pastor? And that ended up being the sermon for that following Sunday. So my blood, when I tell you that service, I tuned it out. I completely tuned it all the way out. I was so angry. I couldn't even express it to them. And then they were like, did you feel anything? Did you get it? If I said what I really wanted to say, they probably would have left me on the side of the road. Like, I was so livid. I'm like, how did you turn it from this to that? So again, I couldn't win for losing. And I keep trying to put the mantra in my head of everything happens for a reason, the good and the bad. But I remember even in that time frame, I was always praying to God. And I was just like, what is the basis for this? What is the basis of me dang near losing my mental? Because I'm losing my mental right now. I can't take it no more. I can't. The amount of times I would go to work and just wanted to just not come home. I didn't even want to come home. It was just like, y'all are not getting it. Y'all aren't understanding me. You really aren't. You think you guys are, but you really aren't. You really aren't. And I can't take it anymore. I said, I need an outlet. So cut to the summer of 2015. Because mind you, this all happened literally after she passed. So my mom died in, sorry y'all. My mom passed in 2014. In December of 2014. I got my first job in February of 2015. So this all happened in a matter of 6 months. This is a lot to intake as somebody who's trying to figure out the world now as a young adult. This is a lot. So then, cut to June of 2015. Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to adjust myself. Not to mention, I'm in my natural state. Hold on, y'all. There we go. Okay. So, cut to June of 2015. By this point, me and my dad have regrown a relationship again, which is another story time for another day. We have started to regrow a relationship back speaking to each other. Well, I stopped speaking to him. He didn't stop speaking to me. Let me rephrase that. But I said, in not so many words, what was going on. And I was just like, can I come visit you? I miss everybody. I want to come see everybody. So he booked me a ticket to come down and visit for about 2 weeks. So I said, can we do it the week of my birthday? My birthday's in July. So I was going to spend my birthday. I was going to turn 21 with my dad. I said I felt like I needed that. I needed to be with my dad. I felt like it was something I needed to do. And it was, I don't know, now older, I realized it was something that was interplaying into what's happening now. But I kept feeling this inkling like I need to be with my dad. I need to be with my dad. So I go with my dad. I love it. I enjoy it. But it was one particular night, and we were talking. We were just talking about life, this, that, and the third. But I guess I was giving robotic answers. And he was like, I can't remember what the question was. Oh, I remember. Wow, that was quick. It was something to the effect of, how was I processing everything after mom passed? And I was like, oh, I'm processing it. I went to do work and stuff like this, that, and the third. And he asked me something that nobody in the family had asked me at all, at any point since she had passed. Even before she passed, nobody had bothered to ask me this question. And it's only 3 words, but nobody bothered to ask me this question. And I was giving my answer, and he stopped and he looked and he goes, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Da 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 da. Again, giving robotic answers. And he goes, "No, baby girl. Are you okay?" And I don't know what happened. It literally was like the movies. I stopped and it was like Splash Mountain. It was just waterworks. Nobody had ever bothered to ask me that. And with everything that had went on between me and my dad, I found that so interesting that the one person who asked me that was the person that I was least expecting it to come from. So I was like, that was interesting. I wouldn't expect that to come from you. That was interesting. So I explained everything that was going on. This time I had told the truth. Everything that was going on. I just was not okay mentally, emotionally. So I had expressed to him, should the opportunity come where I can come stay with you, can I come stay with you? Because I love them. Sorry, guys, I'm checking my phone. I was like, I love them, but this is a lot for me, Daddy. And I feel myself getting ready to spiral and do something that I don't want to do to myself. I need to leave. I need to leave. And he said, of course. So I came back up. This is still July. I want to say by August, I found a new job. I was working another job, and everything is still the same. Everything is still the same. And I said I couldn't take it anymore. So during break one day, I called my dad, and I was like, Dad, does that offer still stand? I said, I'll wait until you get yourself together. But I got to get out of here, Daddy. I can't do it. They're not understanding me. They're not hearing me. I don't know what's the basis for any of this going on in my life. I pray about it. I talk to God about it. I have no idea, Daddy, but I can't hear him because my brain is all over the place. I can't hear him, and I want to hear him, but I can't hear him because my brain is just, I can't. So, can I? Can I come? And he's like, oh, of course, he's like, yeah, not even a thought. Give me time, find an apartment, get settled in, get things in order. Let me get my ducks in a row first, and I'll let you know when you can come. Fair enough. Because it was spur of the moment. I understood. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, it's August, about September hits. And I always ask here and there in between. So, like the first week of September, I had asked him, and he was like, everything should be in order about the end of October. Can you give me one more month? Just give me like a month and a half. Can you do that for me? It's like, yeah, I could do that. I was like, I could do that. He's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I could do it. I could do it. So by this point, I'm excited mentally because I know I'm getting ready to bounce. I'm getting ready to bounce. I couldn't do it anymore. And I want to stop the video right here, stop the story time for 2 seconds just to say this. I do not hate my family. I do not hate my family. I do not have any grudges against them. I'm retelling how I felt in that time frame when everything was going on. I do not hate them. I love them. Because I know some people would like to get in the comments and go, see, this is why I could. No, this is not one of those cases. I still love them. I still talk to them. Everything else under the sun. Those are my family. I'll bust head for them. I'm retelling a point in my life where I felt like this and how it plays into my faith that I have now. Just have to put that disclaimer. So it's going on. I had brought it up to them in August that I wanted to move back with my dad. I brought it up because we had had a conversation about it. But because anything wasn't confirmed, I didn't say what the confirmation was. So once he gave the confirmation of the time frame of when I could, and he'll let me know when I can actually like book a ticket, that's when I said something. So once he said October, give me like the end of October, I was like, okay, bet. That's when I brought it up to them. We have a time frame, we have a date, this, that, and the third. So, of course, my family is sad. My family is hurt because they didn't want me to go. To be honest, I didn't really want to, how do I say this? It's not that I wanted to leave them. Wholeheartedly, I feel like if they took the time to sit down with me and have conversations with me and my brother, wholeheartedly, I feel like if they sat down and took the time to talk and actually hear me out about how I was feeling, nothing of what happened would have occurred. But again, everything plays out for a reason. So, it needed to go that way because God had to do some working on me to get to the woman that you see today. Now, some stuff he orchestrates and some stuff I did of my own will. I have learned that in my faith. So, but I'm talking amongst the stuff that he orchestrated himself, not what I did of my own pure dumbness. So, so they're hurt, they're sad. I could really tell that my uncle was sad, but my uncle didn't really want to express it. He's not really the lovey-dovey. He has different ways of showing that he loves you, but he's not necessarily the huggy, kissy type, but he has different ways of showing it. But he had made a promise to my mom to always take care of me and my brother, even into adulthood. For whatever that means, whatever the conversation was between the two of them, he made that promise to her that he was always going to look out for her. And in his mind, I never had this conversation with him, but I'm just taking an educated guess here. This is just an educated guess. I'm just taking an educated guess that by me saying I wanted to leave broke his heart because he believed that he wasn't doing a good job and I pushed him away. which, sorry, he pushed me away, which is a 50-50. He pushed me away, but out of not understanding, not out of malice or out of cold-heartedness. It was just by not understanding and not taking the time to get to understand where I was in that point in my life. So he did, but he didn't. So hopefully, now that it's been years past, I can have this conversation with him and maybe we can have some type of understanding about it. So, in Jesus' name, I pray that we can get that breakthrough because, again, I've never had this conversation with him. I'm telling this story to teach about walking even when you don't understand what's going on. But I've never actually sat down with them to tell them this, how I was feeling. So this is kind of unorthodox and backwards. But it wouldn't be me if it wasn't. I've been like this since I was little. Everybody knows I'm unorthodox. This is nothing new. This is nothing new. They know me. This is nothing new. So we move. Sorry, not we move. I moved back to the DMV. And boy, oh boy, this is where the lesson really, really kicks in. Really, really kicks in. And we come to the end of part 2 of this, because this isn't a long story, but I feel like it's one of those where I have to actually paint the picture of what was happening in these time frames to understand the basis of the whole collective story. So that is the end of part 2. Y'all better watch, like, and comment, and subscribe. And I will be back with y'all for part 3. I did not know I was going to do this in parts. Oh my gosh. I felt like this story was going to be a lot simpler than that. I guess not. Okay. Remember, nobody can be you like you can be. Used to be the best you that you can be. Deuces. Mwah.